Okay, no opening today. This is raw, unfiltered Spark of Madness.
Hey,
Caught you off guard.
yeah, you really did.
I am a man.
Sorry.
Man of constant sorrow. The spark of madness once again.
Get us on track,
And
Matt.
Fresca is our sponsor man.
That's pretty good. That's a good improv.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Yeah, this is Spark of Madness podcast. No more Spook of Madness. It's
I'm
over.
sad it's gone.
It's November. This weird arbitrary month in between awesome October horror movies, and then you get to Christmas movies, December, and November doesn't really have any movies.
November doesn't really have anything.
Doesn't really have much.
There's a
we get a-
Thanksgiving promise. There's
Yeah,
a lot
we
of
get
promises.
a holiday where you get to eat again, like
Yeah.
you do every day.
Yeah, that's right. What's the difference from other holidays? Well, so we've got a whole new schedule for this month. We're going to start slow dripping those out on our Facebook, Twitter pages. But first up is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
He's bonafide.
That's what you'd spent your work on.
I've
this
got
week?
a lot
We're
of
in a tight
these.
spot.
You want to hear all three of it? All three I have right here?
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
You got them each separately. So do you know? Do you guys know why we chose this movie?
Because it's really good.
I actually have
There
no
is a
idea.
reason.
Need you another
sort of
reason?
reason.
I have no idea.
Is
I don't
it
know
because
if-
it's about the environment?
It is. It's
Okay.
always about the environment.
Okay.
The Coen Brothers have a new movie coming out. Straight to Netflix.
What's it called?
The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Scruggs, I think.
Well, what was their last movie?
Hail Caesar?
I want to see that.
Was
I
Hail
haven't-
Caesar good? I need to know.
It starred the damn Parent
I'm
Familias.
pretty sure it wasn't.
Okay, then
but
this
I
new
didn't
movie
see-
might be good.
I've heard it was good.
No, so Hail Caesar, I think, was straight them. Then Suburbicon, they didn't do everything for it. That George Clooney, I think, directed it.
The only
and
thing
now
I'm-
it's Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
I'm trying to figure out whether this movie is going to be worth seeing because they are on a cyclical sort of cycle. Every
Yeah.
other movie of theirs stinks.
So Ballad of Buster Scruggs, it fits right in with Coen Brothers movie, but it's has James Franco in it and Tim, the guy from this one.
We're done.
See,
Thanks for
I didn't
playing.
prepare it all. The little guy,
And that's
Delmer.
the end of the podcast.
So anyway, yeah, that movie's coming out. So I thought it'd be good to do a Coen Brothers, and we were going to do a vote on which movie to do, but we should do this one because you guys talk about it all the time.
This is one of the finest movies
It sure
I've ever
is.
seen.
It's a wonderful tip.
Did I just spoil my review?
So yeah, good transition.
It's a lovely picture.
This is one of those movies where once it's on, very few people will turn it off, I think.
Yes, very few people.
It's like Michael Jackson.
It's my
Nobody will disagree that it's good as long as they have their wits about them.
and their pants zipped up. And you're not a
Nice.
little boy.
I'm so glad to have you here with me.
We're on such a great trajectory for this podcast already.
Brought to you by Fresca.
That trajectory is straight down.
How about a bumper sandwich, booger lips?
Just referencing movies we did in the past and not this one.
You think we can construct an entire review using only movie quotes?
Probably.
Okay.
Hey, you're looking dapper today.
I'm going to need you guys to carry the show tonight because I'm fighting off a cold and I was at work for like 11 hours, so I'm dying.
All right, good.
Booger lips.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, straight up. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about Little Brother, We're Out There. If you're not familiar with our podcast or you're tuning in for the first time,
It's a show about brothers
yeah,
and where they are.
that's right. We are three brothers.
It's actually a prequel to Carmen Sandiego.
No, it's a show about brothers who are looking for art.
Ah.
You know, their paintings. They lost their paintings.
Makes you think.
Where art?
Thou. Yeah. We're art now.
Their art.
You're missing the comma.
Art. So we're going to talk about this movie. We're going to spoil it completely. This is your spoiler warning, and then at the end we'll give you kind of our overall rating out of 10. That's kind of been a fun exercise since we started doing that. So
I agree.
I agree.
we're so smart. All right, who wants to kind of give the
Ben.
general overview?
You, man.
Me? Well, am I the only one that actually watched it in the preparation?
Probably. I've seen it. I have it. I've seen it so many times.
I've seen it like 3,700
Then you guys should be the ones to
Okay, let's go.
justify it.
Let's.
Let's.
You should just do it just like your sound effects. We do it at the same time. Both of you just start talking at the exact same time. The
Ready?
I will
synopsis.
do it again.
Here we go.
There, perfect. There's the plot.
That's
no,
all right.
This movie is about 3 guys. One of them George Clooney, and the other 2 guys' names I can't remember. They are on a quest to get back to their homes for different reasons, and they're having trouble getting there.
And they had to
It
argue.
says a lot about the human condition.
And they had to argue in an OFT.
Exactly. I'm glad you're with me.
Okay, so a lot of it's based upon
The
the Odyssey. His name is Ulysses, which is
Odyssey.
another
They
name
actually
for
like
Odysseus.
set it up right away too. They
I
have
mean,
the
it's
call,
not-
like based off of the Odyssey by Homer. It's
Yeah.
not like some random novel.
It's not really. It's a framing device.
Matt,
it doesn't do a lot.
Just explain it for us. We're
Oh,
tired.
hey, whoa! I'm getting deep here.
Okay,
The
Fresco.
movie. The movie uses the Odyssey as a framing device, but it's not a particularly deep inclusion, and I don't mind because
Which I like.
I'm glad. Which is fine because it doesn't. The movie doesn't depend on it. It's like the opposite of Mother when it comes to allegory. It doesn't require the viewer to. What are you doing?
Just go. Keep going.
It doesn't require it for the viewer to understand it or enjoy it.
Well, yeah, it very much has that. The main pull, I guess, would be just the general adventure type that where random stuff seemingly happens. These
Which is what the Odyssey was.
these little short bursts of trials that they try to overcome. That and then everything
Very
kind
episodic.
of and then everything kind of ties back together in the end. Although I wouldn't say ties, like comes back, but
Now, George Clooney's character is Odysseus.
The damn Paterfamilias.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pappy O'Daniel is Zeus. Who else is who? Or is it that
The
tenuous?
Cyclops is
yeah,
John
yeah,
Goodman.
yeah. Other than that, it seems kind of tenuous.
There's a soothsayer at the beginning.
they're very obviously the
I forgot
three
about him.
sirens
There's
too.
the sirens.
Yeah.
You know what? Never
Everybody-
mind. It's
and
all over the
There's
place.
a lot of blind themes in it. Like there's a lot of blind people in this movie.
Yeah.
You have like the
Or partially blind.
partially
I guess.
blind. Well, you have the blind
host,
suit,
yeah.
the radio host.
you have the populace
the
at large.
Cyclops.
Wake up, sheeple.
The dog was blind. We don't know if
The dog.
the dog that was chasing them with the police, the devil.
Oh, right.
Who's
yeah,
the devil?
Yeah. yeah.
Right.
And he was
He's
kind
not
of blind.
the
He
devil.
represents
He's
blind.
Hades.
He's Hades. Yeah.
Hades.
Why couldn't they get James Woods to be him?
Tell some jokes.
Little nutmeg.
Put some Dapper Dan on his fire hair.
What a good villain.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they escape from prison, and it's initially set up that there's a treasure that they're chasing after, and what are they going to do with their treasure? And to Aaron's point from earlier, it was they each had a different outcome that they wanted. Initially, George Clooney's character didn't really tell us what he was like. I have no plan, but he was the one with the plan the whole time.
It was
Right.
a lie the whole time.
Right? Yeah.
Spoilers.
Jeez.
You ain't no kind of man till you got land.
If you had that on the soundboard, it's totally random.
If you keep talking, I can get it. I'll
actually
work
pretty
on
funny.
it. Yeah, never mind.
All right, so we can talk more about the plot going forward, but you kind of get it.
Yeah.
I got kind of especially at the start, like a Wes Anderson-y vibe. Did you guys?
Was everything centered in frame?
Not the centered wasn't, but kind of the tone of it.
You mean it was goofy?
No,
No.
don't think so.
I mean, I
No.
wouuld go Wes Anderson, but it is goofy.
No, but I got it. I didn't get it all.
Skip that note page.
Rip.
No, I got a Coen Brothers.
And they're goofy too sometimes.
Yeah,
I got a timeless vibe.
What
The whole
aspect
thing's
of...
timeless.
it felt more restrained for some reason this time, but like still had like a personality.
Well,
to
it wasn't
and-
dark.
and the colors.
It
and
wasn't
stuff.
dark.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
can I tell you let's talk about the best part of the movie.
Okay. Sure.
Getting right into it.
Cinematography.
That's really good aspect, yeah.
Roger Deakins.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I know that name. What else has he done?
He's done it
He
like
just won his first Oscar after forever. This past
did you know
year.
he done recently that we loved?
Blade Runner?
Blade Runner.
That's what he won for.
But
yeah.
he's done a lot. And he's probably one of the best cinematographers out there.
Yeah.
He was a consultant on Wall-E. He did the
yeah.
cinematography on Django.
Django was well shot as well.
Rango
was well shot as well.
Sorry, I can't pull up the IMDb for some reason, but he's done a lot of things. But the color grading was amazing in that, and
it was one of the first movies is to do it in the computer. Yeah,
and to do it right. That made sense of the story.
Yeah, it wasn't just there to do it to do it.
And so the cinematography, and didn't get nominated for cinematography. Didn't get nominated for anything.
Not even for song.
Maybe song, but it didn't get nominated for anything.
To be fair, the cinematography is minimalist. I would say it's very, very good. It's just nothing. Nothing flashy.
Would you count as the color grading? As part of the cinematography?
No, not cinematography. No,
cinematography is more framing.
But the lighting, though, he had to figure, I don't know, look at that
good.
shot.
It's very
but the
well shot.
composition is good without the grading.
Yeah.
It's very well shot.
I'm just saying it's not flashy.
And it's interesting how they use the tones of yellow throughout. You want to get that heat because I think they shot in Georgia.
Yeah, it gives it two aspects: the sepia and the heat.
Yeah, and they changed, and the tone of the yellow changes itself a little bit too. Like when they hit the sirens, when they get to the sirens, it's kind of golden and like surreal. You mean? So it kind of.
See, this is the problem though. When you do color grading and shooting right, it's very transparent so that you don't notice it. So that might be why it got ignored, because it's so well done and subtle.
It was. But that's a hard thing to do. And, as I try to do it, color grading and color correction.
You quickly run into problems.
Well, you quickly run into problems, and there's so many things you can do that, what do you do?
It's hard not to do something wrong.
It's like the menu at the Cheesecake Factory. There's so many places you can go. Too many options.
Like the menu.
It's like playing an open world game. Yeah. So many options. I may as well not choose any.
Well, so I thought. So let's just cut right over. So I thought when you said the best part, I thought you were going to talk about the kind of music stuff. That's the first thing I think of when anybody talks about.
I guess that's the best part too.
I don't know. I enjoy.
I just love the cinematography so much.
I do too. I think I'm the odd one out here where the music to me was good. It wasn't the highlight of the movie for me.
I think it's all very sprinkled. It's one of the few movies where they have all the moving parts.
It's well paced. It's not. They don't deal their cards too heavily.
Captain America wasn't in it.
Yeah, that was nice. I agree.
Iron Man wasn't in it. This movie sucked.
Batman.
How was this movie commercially viable?
And there was no cinematic universe. I waited all day for the credits.
I can't wait to watch Pete and Delmar Begins. Starring Christian Bale.
The prequel. Yeah. When he robbed the Piggly Wiggly.
That's a nice coat, Pete.
Yeah. Thank you, Delmar.
My hair product.
Turn me into a hornetoad.
Gotta find a wizard.
We were fixing to fornicate too.
That's the highlight of this movie for me, is the humor, because it's very funny, but it doesn't play the card too heavily.
This is when I think George Clooney's career took to a better turn, because everything he was in was terrible.
Are you forgetting Batman and Robin? Come on.
When everything he was in was terrible, and this movie made me start liking him in movies.
Agreed.
And and there's only a few movies I like him in. I don't like him in a lot of things.
I can't think of any offhand beside this one.
But I think it was a good casting.
Good casting. Agreed.
Good casting? Yeah.
Very good casting. The acting's good.
It's good casting because I can't think of anyone else who I would want to play that part.
No.
Well, he pulled off, I think what he pulled off so well was the, articulate confidence part of it. That was so part of his character, obviously.
Jerk. He played the jerk.
He's a lovable jerk.
Exactly, the liar, the jerk.
Well, and he also captured kind of what I would think of as, I don't know, that time period of just disregarding people who fall by the way. Well, he's dead, so let's just keep going. That shit happened.
The line where he's like, well, he was barely sentient. At this point, it's a good thing.
And then how he just naturally cons the radio host guy.
Yeah,
plays off of what he tells him. Yeah,
we're all
Our other two associates will have to just sign X's.
right. Yeah. That was really
Fun
good.
fact: the radio guy, the blind guy.
Yeah, he's in a lot of
he is. I believe his name is. I forget his name, but he does the voice of Bill on King of the Hill.
Yeah.
He's also news radio.
Yep.
And he's also what's his name
things.
in Office Space? You took my stapler.
Yeah, he's. God, I can't
forget
remember his name.
This is a Rich Stapler.
Yeah.
Remember, what I'm talking about?
I could set the building on fire.
The building in fire.
I mean, he was in Get Out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty.
The question is, did he get?
He did not get out.
Okay.
He did not.
Warby Gals.
I guess I don't need to see that movie now.
Warby Gals.
We've got a comment in here. Chauncey says, "I hate cows."
I hate cows more than I hate cappies.
I hate
Babyface.
Do they explain why you hate cows? Because I didn't get it.
I don't know, but they spent the time to make it look like they shot a cow.
Because the first, it was a very good effect.
That was the dark part of that's
And one get run over.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I saw this as a kid, and I didn't understand why he hated cows so much.
Milton was the guy's name.
And it was so funny that when they open up with George Babyface Nelson's character, that the money's just flying around, he didn't care about the money.
It's the thrill.
Exactly. It's it's the same reason why I like the claw machine.
That's why everybody likes the claw machine. You don't actually want that little plastic
cheap,
ring.
You go buy it if you want. Or that little stuffed animal.
You just throw it back in.
It's the fact that you figured out how to get
See, the problem though is that the house always wins.
I won.
Right.
I
That's
was
something
a
that
massive
George
claw
Clooney's
machine.
character took with him into Ocean's 11, so he had to really. Let's just keep going. All right. What else? There's so many different little pockets of scenes. There's that baptism scene. There's when they're getting about to be burned alive in the farm, and the kid saves them.
I have to say that the barn scene is one of my favorites.
That was pretty good. I liked how that one was shot too.
That was a
your point
highlight.
of Deacon. Yeah.
And plus, you get to hear
We're in a tight spot.
5 times.
So, and off screen too, I think it's funny too when you hear that. The part, okay, so if you break down the sequence at the end when he goes, and there's a lot of symbolism too, but there's some it pays tribute to an older movie, but when they go to the KKK rally, it's Wizard of Oz. It's Wizard of Oz when they see the soldiers. They kind of, when he sees the and you see the scarecrow and the lion and them duck behind the bushes. It's exactly almost the same setup, and they're kind of doing the same thing, similar in some of the way they did it, and they're disguised as that.
I can't believe I didn't catch that at first.
No, it's so Wizard of Oz, and that's also in the Odyssey symbolizes them disguising themselves as sheep to get past the Cyclops.
God, it's so deep and works on so many levels.
See, this is. I mean, maybe it's just lack of familiarity with the source content, but compared to something like Mother, where everything was so ham-fisted, just so perfectly tied to the metaphor.
Did you get it?
Everybody got that?
Did it make you feel smart?
It's about the environment.
I guess part of it was that there's so much charm and humor and other things going on too, that even if there was a heavier hand 1-to-1 correlation to what the Odyssey story was, you still are
well, that's the thing.
into it.
It isn't light-fisted with the allegory. It is a little heavy-handed with it, but it doesn't matter. No, but because it survives by other things.
But it borrows a good movie. Star Wars borrows a lot of things. Don't you mean the fallen angels, like Lucifer, the dark side, the hero's journey. There's so many mythology. Even Wizard of Oz, you can see a lot in Star Wars and stuff. There's so much mythology in that, but if you borrow it and use it in a very artistic way to make something different, I think that's great. And I think this movie is one of those movies that made something different with elements of something that happened in that.
Sameness that creates difference. The more things change, then never mind. Go on, Matt.
I'm
tired.
Yeah, I'm getting so. there were a couple things I was going to call out as, I guess, potentially negatives, but I'm curious what you guys think.
I can't think of any. Lay it on me.
Say it.
Really? Wow. Okay.
No, I really can't.
So one of the things about the treasure,
That's it. I'm out. I'm just kidding.
I hope that would have been funny if it just flew off.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
Aaron would have
Aaron had to
but-
clean it up.
So the whole idea of the treasure and kind of what's spurring them forward is that they're trying to track down the treasure.
Yep.
Do not seek the treasure.
I don't know. It felt like they were just kind of arbitrarily going from place to place without any like very clear. I mean, ultimately it was all a lie to begin with, but I would
Yeah.
have loved it, like something of, well, we got to go to like George Clooney really directing them. Like, we got to go here. We got to do this. Like feeling like they were checkpoints rather
I can
than
see where you're coming
we're
from.
just driving aimlessly to some place and things are happening. And then at one point we hear, well, the treasure wasn't real. Like it just felt very, I know they talked about it,
was
at
a little
one point,
abrupt.
but it just, I don't know. From structurally, I would have liked to have like,
I would have liked
where-
more hand holding.
well, not hand holding, but I would have liked them, like the twist or the idea that he lied to them to have a
It
little bit
was
more
a little bit fast.
substance to it.
Now, I always took it to mean that he was exploiting how much smarter he was than those other two because they just follow him no matter what.
I actually like that they didn't do it where it's like it was almost reminded me of Huck Finn, and why I liked Huck Finn so much as a kid is it was just little mini adventures. And the Odyssey is kind of like that too, a little bit too. Yeah, the overarching goal, he has to go home. They want to go home, but
Did they say that the treasure was at his hometown?
I
at
believe
one
they
point?
did.
Maybe they did.
They did.
In which case,
where they went,
this is
where
kind
they
of
got
mute,
flooded.
but
When he got the ring, he said it's there back in
yeah,
the
the
cabin.
flood,
And
yeah.
the little happy
But
little tire
it wasn't a
barn.
complete lie. The ring was the treasure.
Yeah. Well, no, the treasure was him changing.
The treasure was the experience.
it was in himself. all
No,
along.
no, seriously, he had an arc. He had a good arc.
I agree.
And it was that door.
No, the arc was like he's a very selfish guy, and he's and not until the very, very like almost toward the end of the movie, like he does.
What did he do?
Well, he went and saved. Is it Delmar or which one? Or which one did John Turturro play? I forget.
That's Pete.
Pete. When he goes say Pete, he knew what he really wanted. You know, he's with his wife and stuff, and
And that's the thing,
he
though.
became more truthful to the guys. He really tried to do less selfish stuff, and he went back to get the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
I
know?
thought his original plan was entirely to reconcile with his wife,
That's
but he
what I
was
thought
lying
it
about
was.
it. But,
Yeah,
I
but-
took it to mean that he did it for the wrong reasons at first
Yeah.
and learned the right reasons
Not to
later.
just like use people.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing with Odysseus is like
He's kind of a jerk.
The different suitors that come to take his wife. Like he's still traveling back from Troy.
And then at the end, he murders them all, and we all learn a valuable lesson.
That
Don't
it was
mess
all
with-
about the environment.
Did you ever see like the straight to video Odyssey? I think it had Vanessa Williams in it.
I think I did.
Yeah, we watched that in school. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His son was a whiny idiot.
Yeah.
It was annoying.
Yeah. Taking shots at the Vanessa Williams.
No, she was fine. It was
Yeah.
Odysseus'
Yeah.
son.
Williams,
Yeah.
fine. You stop talking.
I'm
about
not.
it.
Hey, I didn't say anything. Well, so I guess part of it too is that you can give some of it a lot of some slack because, and part of the brilliance of it is what we're talking about with how it ties into the Odyssey, but it also creates just this world of people kind of like George Clooney, of people trying to take advantage of other people, like the Big Dan, all the politicians, and even the radio guys are like, we got to sign them to a contract, and like everybody they run into kind of falls under the same umbrella of
Kind of like it's perfectly
scrambling
realistic.
Yeah, scrambling around.
I like the
people.
time period too, the 1930s too.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really
And radio and stuff like was coming into its own. Like
Singing into a can.
the world is changing. You know, like the Odyssey. His world
Yeah,
is
I guess
different.
so. Did you ever read the Iliad, Ben?
I did.
It was boring.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I actually didn't like. I liked the Iliad. I liked Achilles, but I was talking to someone about this, where
I too talk to most people about Achilles.
Well, Iliad versus the Odyssey, and
Right,
and
yeah.
like,
as we all do.
well,
I'm sorry that you're not well read like us,
I know,
Matt.
I'm just kidding.
But Iliad versus the Odyssey versus Lord of the Rings versus The Hobbit. You know what I mean? Where it's like I think adventure movies are more fun and better than war movies. You know what I mean? And like that was what's wrong with the new Hobbit movie is like they made it a war movie. And it's like, well, the war is very end.
It's a very small portion of the book.
They're kind of spectators to it. They're not really involved with it. Whereas the adventure was so much fun. That's why I think I like the first Lord of the Rings. Fellowship was more the adventure of it. I think that's why that one's superior.
And that's why of the Tolkien books, The Hobbit is my favorite. Because it's the purest adventure.
And the Iliad is considered
all
less
war.
than the Odyssey. The Odyssey is just an adventure. And that's why I like Huck Finn. It's an adventure. It's just many adventures, you know?
Yeah. They all of those have like this fun pace to it where it's like, oh, this is that part where they did that.
Yeah, it's and then this, and then this.
And you say that over and over and over, and they all kind of build off of each other. And how do they overcome it?
It's almost like it's based on an oral tradition where there were no books and people just had to communicate stories to each other.
Yeah. Star Wars was an adventure, too. I mean, like, there's very little war in Star Wars.
I don't know. There's a lot of war.
Well, in the backdrop. Like, The Empire Strikes Back was the best one because it's the most adventurous.
Agreed.
There wasn't a big space battle at the end.
I don't know if that's the reason, but it does happen to coincide.
Coen side.
Oh my God.
Boom.
I did it without even realizing it.
I really liked. I just saw my note about. I liked how the. I guess it was 3 of his kids talked to him when they got to the because they were this similarly intellectually and like the way this ornate talking and yeah, mom's got a suitor and
He's bona fide.
Yeah, he's bona fide. That was great.
I'm the damn paterfamilias.
I should have got more quotes on my keyboard.
At one point, so when they were in the movie theater.
That was so fun.
Pete was when he and he was saying he was like, do not seek the treasure.
Seek the treasure.
Because the cops are gonna ambush them?
Yes.
Did he just know that where they were going or
does it matter?
Well, well, at that point I was like, is he seeing things? And then
I agree that was a bit of a stark transition from him not knowing anything to knowing everything, but I always chalked it up to him overhearing cops talking.
Well, no, because
he got caught by
he got captured and they were like interrogating him. They were torturing him. Remember? Yeah, remember that scene?
Yeah.
Oh,
so again, this all comes back to me just having no clear idea what their path was for the treasure. I had no idea where they were going, and maybe they said that, and I just missed it.
They did with the tire barn, and that's when they got captured again. Like at the end, the cops were waiting there.
Yeah.
At the tire swing.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that's his shack. That's where they were going to ambush him, and they eventually did.
Okay.
And then the river flows over him, and then there's Dapper Dan everywhere.
I don't know, fop.
I'm a Dapper Dan, man.
Watch your language, young fella. It's a geographical oddity. 2 weeks from everywhere.
One of the best lines in any movie.
Yeah.
Stay out of the Woolsworth.
Did you know that it took me forever to figure out that he wasn't saying it right? Because there's no Woolworths in our time. It's not Woolsworth, it's Woolworths.
Woolworth.
And he just wasn't saying it right.
That's hilarious. And you get cross-eyed almost. And it's, oh damn, it's a soggy bottom one. Those boys desecrated a fiery cross. That's the best. That's the best.
Is you ain't my constituency.
I mean,
I happen to be a member of a secret society.
Certain secret society.
You guys, okay. You guys liked that resolution of the politician ran
out of the pool. That's hilarious.
Is it not enough, or is it too
What do you
little?
want?
Well, I thought all the mayor stuff was just kind of slapped in.
No
honest.
way.
It was comedic.
Oh my
I thought
God!
all of it was just
no.
randomly in there.
Nope, I don't think so. I thought.
What did it do? It didn't serve the adventure.
No, it didn't serve the adventure.
And what did it build up to? It built up to this random crap at the end where one of them is like, I'm very outspokenly racist. And the audience goes, yeah, you're racist. Get out of here. Resolution for our heroes. It's gone. Like, it was so...
No,
like, what?
It wasn't random.
It was only not random because they did these check-ins with a mayor.
Because it so happened to be that them meeting Papio Dano pardoned him at the end. You know what I mean? So it wasn't random to their story at all.
He pardoned them just in that moment. It had nothing to do with them meeting at the start, though. It had nothing to do with that.
I always saw the mayor stuff as a small, very coincidental character arc for Papio Daniel, because he seems to soften up over the course of the movie just ever so slightly.
I thought it was hilarious.
It's not much, but it's flavor.
Okay. Yeah, you don't like this movie.
I can't believe you hate this movie, man.
Why do you hate it?
I hate it.
He gave it a 3. I already
it's
see
already,
it.
Yeah, it's already bottom of the barrel.
And it's not like we have to nitpick movies because we have to fill an hour.
Yeah. Are those autoerotica?
Yes.
So what else did you guys hate about the movie?
I hated that it ended.
I'm just kidding. I did really like their performance at the end, though, especially George Clooney's beard work.
Yeah.
Especially the
Bang,
part where
bang.
George Clooney's voice changes to completely somebody else.
Yeah, he sold it though. He sold it. It was very
He lip synced very well.
very Rami Malek. From
He Ashley Simpsoned it very well.
Oh my God! Remember that? How did that person have a career?
Easy. She's related to Jessica Simpson.
How did that person have a career?
I don't know.
I feel like I guess the reason I was disappointed in the mayor stuff was I wanted even more. I would have liked them to build up the cop characters a little bit more, because I feel like they finally got their lines really late in the movie. The guy with the sunglasses.
I like the mysteriousness of those
thing about-
guys.
I would have liked those scenes to be longer, even if they didn't talk.
No,
but like they weren't. They did a lot of like quick wipes, like, hey, we're tracking them still. Remember, they're still tracking them.
Sweet summer rain.
I think that comes from difficulty characterizing the devil or Hades. There's not a lot you can do with the mustache twirler.
but I also like the mysteriousness of it. You mean
the mysteriousness
like
does lend something to it, but I
it's-
would be interested in seeing longer takes, even if there was no talking.
Yeah, but
And
dehumanize him a little bit, like make him the ominous presence that's always there, that's not there even off screen. I kind of like that. He's there, he's present.
Interesting thought.
Yeah, I think some of my complaints, I guess, could be totally absolved if I knew exactly how it tied to the Ulysses stuff, but or the Odyssey, I guess. Maybe all these characters have a
Hades was always trying to hold him back.
well,
he was trying to keep a good
like
man
who
down.
who are the different mayor? I'm sure they have a.
Papio Daniel.
Actually, I think he could have been also a mix of Neptune, because I know Neptune was clashing his Odysseus' journey at the beginning.
That's
because
true.
because he disrespected Neptune at the beginning when he left home, and that's why it took him a long time to get home. So he could be
I'm looking it up.
reminiscence of Hades and Neptune,
Odyssey,
because Neptune was the god of the sea, and that was the way he had to get home.
Right. Microsoft Neptune. That's not what I'm looking for, Google.
L'Aqua.
Forget it.
So what else? What else do we got? As we're maybe even wrapping up way earlier than we normally do.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. There's not. I wouldn't call this a deep movie, but it succeeds on every level that it visits. Does that feel fair?
Yeah.
It's like a good bowl of cereal.
I think it's
Pieces of fruit in
I
it.
don't think it's deep in terms of like trying to be more than it is, but I also think it's a very timeless movie.
Well, timeless, yes, but there's many
classic.
kinds of deep. There's faux deep, Mother, and then there's deep without trying to be deep. Maybe
There's the deep blue sea.
deepest, bluest. My head is like a shark's fin. I know. This movie is it allows for deepness, but it doesn't require the viewer to delve into it to enjoy it.
No, I think it's like a Wizard of Oz to me. It's very much like how I feel about Wizard of Oz. Same feelings.
So this movie is a little deeper than Wizard of Oz.
But that's what I'm saying. But Wizard of Oz is
Comparatively, I could see the idea. Yeah.
just you get in, like you said,
It's a
when it's
straight
on TV, you're like,
adventure
I want to
movie.
watch this. This is so good.
It's a straight adventure movie that evokes the very base feelings of needing the call to adventure in humanity.
That's a good way to put it, for sure.
Making good characters you really like.
Well, yeah, and the characters are funny,
And
especially
that's-
our main three. They like each of them has a thing
And
that's
Papio
hysterical.
again, like it's funny and you like him.
I always
I
wanted
didn't. I didn't think. See, I didn't think he was that. funny.
He spoke to me for some reason. Like he connected with me.
He's
Papio Dan made me laugh.
Peter Griffin's dad, right?
Is he?
I think
Maybe.
the voice of him. Yeah.
Peter Griffin.
But yeah, so
He's in a lot of Coen
a couple
Brothers
of the
movies, I
lines that I thought were really funny were when George Clooney runs into the new fiance to his wife. He's like, "You've been using my hair treatment."
Yeah.
He has his ass kicked.
He's like, don't talk to my fiance that way.
Yeah. The other one was, oh, geez. It was right after the baptism where Delmer's like, I was bad till yesterday, but I've been saved. So it's just like he's using that moment.
Yeah. He's like, but you told me you didn't rob the Piggly Wiggly. He's like, well, I'm absolved from that too.
Yeah, right.
I can't
I'm
wait.
saved.
I can't wait until you guys vote because I'll wait for you two guys to vote. Then I'll say, well, I'm with you, fellas.
Being that I'm the only one capable of abstract thought.
And what's his name? The actor who was
John
Pete?
Turturro?
John Turturro. Yeah, he was good in this.
This is probably one of his best movies.
You might
good.
recognize him from Transformers.
Yeah.
Or The Big Lebowski, another Coen brother movie.
Yeah. There's a lot of Coen Brothers
Fuck with the Jesus.
carry over here. And John Goodman was good too. I
He
liked
was.
him.
He was-
I thought everybody was mostly pretty good when in their performances. For
I
sure.
didn't see
George
one
Nelson
bad
was good.
performance.
Like,
Yeah,
he was funny.
he was funny.
He's like, yeah, fellas. Like, he's so depressed. It was just such a nice little slice.
And they
Even
just wandered
Tommy,
away.
Tommy, the guitar player was good. Like, there's
Yeah.
the devil over there. You know, like it just.
It's good.
I was a little confused at his inclusion, but it did help out the story.
And I did like, and that boy sold his soul to the devil, and like Papio Dan's like, oh, you know, like Homer Stokes.
Well, we didn't really touch on the
So stupid.
wasn't there like fake blackface in this? Like,
well, not intentionally.
mistaken
No.
blackface.
Yeah, they darkened their faces to hide in night.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But that was very kind of like Stooges, or I don't know.
It was
like-
very Three Stooges.
Yeah. Like,
This movie was very Three Stooges.
the one mayor candidate thinks they're all black, and obviously they're the KKK, and so they're all in trouble. And I don't know. That was a very ridiculous moment.
It was like that Dave Chappelle skit where they've got the hoods on and they pull them off.
yeah.
You know, I just saw the sequence there at the very beginning when he jumps on the train and like.
Oh, the train. That was
and
hysterical.
they pull up-
That was great.
Break that down. It's a metaphor for his character.
Oh my God, here it comes.
It is. It's like if he's only thinking about himself, and when he's thinking about himself, life is pulling him down. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Until he figures out
You got to help
the
up
others
your
around you.
friends.
You know?
Wow, I never thought of that,
Yeah.
Ben. You're
just that,
smart.
just that little bit. You know?
I'm going to give you some claps for that. I'm going to let it roll. And done. What was that line in that scene where he's like, any of you boys smithies or otherwise interested in the metallurgical arts?
It's so good.
He's so verbose, it's funny.
Yeah, it's very good. All right. Any last thoughts? Should we just go straight to the
I think we could go to voting.
the finish?
Kill the wabbit. Kill the wabbit.
And the award for most out of left field quote of the day.
All right, Ben. What would you rate this movie? Out of 10.
10.
10.
I'm giving it a 10.
10?
It's
Yeah.
perfect.
You're kidding.
Okay, a 9.5.
It's better than Predator.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that about
That's
you.
the highest rating you've ever given.
And it's
this
on a
is
show.
okay. 9.5. 9.5.
That's better than.
This movie's pretty good.
Okay.
This movie's amazing.
it's pretty good.
This movie's
9.5.
This movie's amazing. 9.5.
11 out of 10. It was okay.
Wow.
It's one of my favorite movies. I forgot how.
Agreed.
good
It is one of my favorite movies. as
And
well.
I think it's a good movie.
A lot of people say that.
If I had to make a top 10 list, I would be loath to leave it out.
I think it's my favorite Coen Brothers movie. Yeah.
That's a good choice.
I think, and it's different than a lot of their movies. I think, depending how this goes, I think we may have to nominate this
For the Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame.
Well, I'll just say no.
No.
Then it's
No?
out. Yeah. So
But we need two to go to
def-
Hollywood, right?
no,
Yeah.
3. It's got to be unanimous.
No, you just
Did
making
we
that
change
up.
the rule?
You
It's
changed the
always
rule?
been unanimous because you guys ditched Gremlins and another one that I wanted
That's
to
true,
do.
we did.
You both did.
Why isn't this a Hall of Famer?
'Cause
why
of the
wouldn't this
things
be a Hall of
because
Famer?
The things I brought up.
What things?
The narrative structural stuff that I've
Oh, that toilet paper you brought?
yeah.
What's your rating, Matt?
You suck, Matt.
It is such a joy to review with
This
you.
is
guys.
10 times
I
better than
love it.
Gremlins.
I love it. I love this that I've chosen to do this.
I
every
love
week.
this stupid movie.
I would give
This is a Hall of Famer.
I would give this a 7 out of 10.
7?
What? You suck. No, you suck. That's
On
terrible.
an absolute scale, that's a good rating. Though.
No, it's
feel like that's
not.
yes,
pretty
it
good.
is.
This movie's a 9. At least a 9.
when
Or an
5
8.
is average and 10 is perfect.
So the fact that
no
it's
Hall of Fame. This movie's awesome.
the fact that so much of it is trying to connect directly to a previously told story makes me not want to like that.
It's not though.
It
it's
does.
not.
You
It's-
just spent the first 15
but
minutes
it-
telling me all the different.
It's kind of the whole framing device.
yeah, it's all of it.
But it's really not though. It's just it's really borrowed.
It expands, but it does borrow.
You specified even to the like
But what- but-
directly
but what
about
movie-
like
what-
the
no,
Cyclops
but-
and then the
but-
sheep's
but-
clothing
but-
and all this stuff.
but-
like it's using a previously written story.
but aren't all stories previously written?
Not to the same
All archetypes.
st-
Star Wars is
strict overlap.
Everything is. Everything is.
Okay, so you're just saying I shouldn't.
No, I think that
What makes this so? How about this? I have my qualms with it. I mean, I'm not going to adjust my rating just because, but like for you, what makes this movie so unbelievable? 9.5 Hall of Fame. Like, make your case for it.
It's an instant classic.
Why?
It's timeless.
But what is the reason? You have to give me. You have to other than just say it is good. What is the reasons for
When
it?
I watch this movie,
It makes me feel good.
I had the same feels of it when I watched Wizard of Oz and other movies like that. It is the way that they did the lighting and the cinematography, the color grading, the story. You don't feel like it's in the 1930s. You feel like it's at any time, and it's its own world. It's a very adventurous story that you care about these characters, and it's just so well acted and so well written and so well put together. The music's amazing. Everything about it is amazing. It's very mesmerizing, kind of like the scenes of the siren. You know, like just kind of it just draws you in and just gives you that feel of timelessness. And to me, this movie could have been made any time period. And that's what I feel about it, and that's why I think it should be go down the Hall of Fame. I think that's my rating and why I think it should be going the Hall of Fame if it's timeless, where it could be made any
That is a fair criteria.
any decade.
Do you mean like it could be enjoyed any decade, or
Yeah.
when you say made, what is it? What do you mean?
Well, this movie could have been made in enjoy. It's timeless. You can't say this was made in 2000s, right?
1999.
Yeah, whatever.
It
But
could have easily been made before or after that.
before or after that. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no, you can't say this movie is other than the actors being alive. It's a timeless story.
So you're giving
Star Wars
you're
is a
giving,
timeless
You're
story.
giving it credit because it doesn't have too many. So let's say Blade Runner. Blade Runner feels very not dated in terms of its lasting impact, but you can peg it to a time frame because of the different cues.
I wouldn't say that, other than the synthesizers, maybe. But I think, but I wouldn't say. something can still be dated in terms of production and where it is, but it's still kind of a timeless feel to it.
Well, yeah.
And later
okay.
it could still be that way. Or The Labyrinth.
Labyrinth is not Hall of Fame.
No, it's not Hall of Fame, but it's got its own thing, and I think this is his own genre. This is his own thing. This movie, there's how many musical?
I mean, it's
like
musical, but I mean, it has. It's not.
It's like Pixar
it's not like
musical.
Crazy. It's not crazy.
No,
pump full of
but
music,
it's his own
and
thing.
it uses the same song.
Its
a
own
couple
thing.
times.
It's really quite an impressive movie.
Well, it's interesting that you
good.
say that
Yep.
because it's just been that there's so few adventure movies in the last few decades. There's been so few pure adventure movies that it feels like a new thing almost. Am I way off base there?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But I think there's so many reasons. Like sometimes you can't give an exact reason, Matt, why something feels timeless. It's just like it's just there. You mean it's that feel. There's no there's no like recipe of making something timeless. You mean because
What if someone comes along and says they don't think it's timeless?
but you can.
Well, then
yeah,
they
and-
probably didn't get. They didn't probably didn't. That's probably their interpretation of it. You know what I mean?
And that's
my. But
me, yeah.
but I think that's different. But I feel like that's why I like it. And I like a lot of things that are timeless, and I have a feel for it. But that's just me. Some people just don't think about time. Some people think
True.
some people like it's the same thing. Well, I love music in movies and good movie scores and stuff. And Aaron doesn't really think about that too much.
I think about it just less than you do.
No, but I mean, sometimes music can make things timeless for me too. So like there's a lot of reasons. So but some people don't think the way I think. So there's that. And what I think is better than you.
I'm glad we finally got to that
You
last
got
point.
there. Yep.
I'm just-
Aaron, what
We got
to
around the horn on that. I would rate this movie. I would rate it in between you two. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Very solid movie. No real faults to speak of. At least none that are worth like delineating and delving into because it's based on a story which is from an oral tradition for the most part. It's going to have those little quirks.
loosely based.
Yeah, loosely in some places.
Well, they don't follow the same structure of what happened
they don't
at all.
they don't follow it rigorously, no.
No.
It's there for flavor.
Yeah, just elements. Like anything borrowing from anything.
This movie is one of my favorites of all time. If I didn't put it in a top 10 list, I would probably be making a mistake.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I couldn't do a top 10. It'd have to be a top 20. It's so hard to
is.
do that.
But I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
Would you vote for this to be in a Hall of Fame?
That's very tough for me to decide because ultimately my decision of Hall of Fame is usually based on my feelings. I don't have a lot of objective qualifiers for Hall of Fame.
Maybe that's probably me too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too, me too.
That's why I would say like there are some movies that could be like put together like a constructed better movie, but there's missing something. That little bit of
Right.
spark.
I would put this in my Hall of Fame, but I can understand why Matt wouldn't.
I can, but sometimes I don't think movies. For me, I don't think there's a formula to what makes things. Why I like things better than others.
It doesn't need to be a formula. I just think, especially if we're having a conversation about why you think it should be in and I don't think it should be in, for you to be able to tell me the reasons why it is for you.
But did those reasons, was that enough for you? That
I don't
validate my point of view?
I don't follow like it to just say it's timeless. To just say these things. I still am kind of having trouble around that idea.
You don't
Like,
think this movie's timeless?
I don't think of it. I don't think I'm thinking of it the same way. That's all. Like,
Do you think it's timeless, Aaron?
In a way. Again, there's a lot of different ways to look at timeless. And in your and my interpretation of the term timeless, it means any person of any decade in the past or future could enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
And on that, I would say it is timeless. And I would say that of the few objective markers of the Hall of Famers, a timelessness is one I would agree on.
so I think we voted The Princess Bride in.
Did we?
Yeah.
I would.
When we talked
Well,
about
if we
it.
did that, then this should be in there, I think. But
Do you think this is better than The Princess Bride?
Ooh, tough call.
yeah,
You
for
do?
me, yeah. I do.
I can't say so. I think Princess Bride is better, but that's just my feelings.
That's fine. It's okay if it's not.
I like them both pretty equally, but I have to give the edge to one.
If our rule's 3, then let's keep
Rule
it.
is 3.
I am okay with a 2/3.
I think we've only kept out 1 or 2. I know Gremlins didn't make it. And
Well, I don't think Gremlins.
maybe Glory got in.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Who
No.
voted it out?
I think I did.
I think yeah.
Oh, okay. Glory.
I
didn't
think
make it.
I think I didn't vote it in either. I think I was like, it's good, but maybe it shouldn't as good as I remember
yeah.
it.
Well,
I was hesitant of it.
yeah. That it just goes to show.
We have
it's,
the list
it's a
of-
tough
we should have a list of Hall of
criteria.
Fame.
I should go back and check them out.
You're gonna have to watch all those shows.
Yep. Great.
Interesting.
I'll do like a tally of.
Blade Runner is not in the Hall of Fame, is it?
It is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We put it in.
Yeah. We did a whole
I
episode.
don't know why. Huh. Interesting.
Why was I thinking that way
No,
that day?
but-
Did you not put? Would you
no.
not put Blade Runner? in?
No, I'm just thinking like to me this is up there with Blade Runner. You know, as
This?
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Blade Runner
Wow.
tackles some tougher themes in a very elegant
No,
way.
but I don't know. I just think this is a good movie, especially in the like
But
at
is
the turn of the
good
century.
a good
And
enough
I think
thing?
one of the best movies in the '90s decades.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
But the
I think it was
90s is not all
2000.
there
It
is.
was, I think it was straight
in the
2000.
beginning of the century.
Was it?
Yeah,
I am gonna look this up. You keep talking.
yeah.
Well, Aaron looks up the date of the movie we just reviewed.
I have to. It's 2000.
2000. There you go.
And as we all know, 2000 was still the 90s.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the toad part.
I mean,
Well,
what's
it's
there
all
to
right.
talk about?
How
Turned to a
great it
toad.
was. That well, look at him. Of course, it's Pete. That was that was a great line.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Barely sentient.
Of course, it's Pete.
That's one of the movie's great strengths is it doesn't have to reach too far to get the humor. It's very matter of fact, and I enjoy that.
Well,
That it
that
doesn't
one
feel like
scene-
it was written.
Where all the Dapper Dans are floating by.
Yeah.
That was good.
When a
And-
joke doesn't feel like it was written, it's good.
And the fact that he at the end they're all saved by the floating drawer, the chest, the roll top.
Yeah,
Where the ring is. Yeah, like, wow, like everything is worked out. You know what I mean?
This could have gone much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that was Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I enjoyed it.
Coen Brothers got a new movie coming out. I'll be interested to watch that. Like we said, but there haven't been a whole lot of interesting
I'll look up a
ones in a while. But next week I think we're going with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I'm
Maybe.
excited.
Yeah.
Hey, where's your other hand?
Oh, he doesn't get it.
Oh,
Matt.
Well, we'll just won't ruin it for him.
Okay, he'll get it.
No spoilers, please.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. Till next time.
Bye bye.